But first, it is time for the hot topic of the hour, a major week for President Trump's trade agenda. The Supreme Court is set to hear oral arguments on Wednesday in the case of the president's emergency tariff authority. Now, the president confirming he will not attend the hearing. Here's what he told reporters on board Air Force One yesterday. Watch this.
The national security of our country is at stake. It's the biggest, I think it's one of the biggest decisions in the history of the Supreme Court. Other countries use tariffs against us. If we weren't able to openly and freely use tariffs against them, I'll give you an example. China. That was going to be a disaster for the world, and I was able to settle it very quickly, very easily, because I was able to use tariffs. It's total national security. And economic health is also part of national security, by the way. But without tariffs, our country would be in great jeopardy.
So will you attend the oral arguments at
No, I don't think so, because I don't want to call a lot of attention to me. It's not about me, it's about our country.
And White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt telling Maria about the administration's next steps on Sunday Morning Futures. Watch this.
We do have backup plans, and the president's trade team is working diligently on those contingency plans. But ultimately, Maria, we are hopeful that the Supreme Court will rule on the right side of the law and do what's right for our country. The importance of this case cannot be overstated. The president must have the emergency authority to utilize tariffs. Look at what President Trump has been able to do by leveraging tariffs and leveraging the might of the United States economy. We are the #1 consumer country in the world, and every country around the world knows it. It's because of tariffs that President Trump has been effectively able to cut so many tailor-made trade deals with so many countries around the country. Look at what around the world, I mean. And it also is a key part of our national security. The president must be able to use this authority.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also speaking with Maria last week on what the Supreme Court should be taking into account in their decision.
Are you expecting the SCOTUS to go your way? And if it doesn't, won't the U.S. have to pay back, what, $150, $200 billion in tariff revenue already collected?
The revenue has been very helpful in terms of we had a lower deficit this year, not by much, from the big mess that we were left with the Biden administration. When the Chinese on October 8th threatened to put on these global export controls on rare earth magnets that could have shut down our industrial base, the industrial base of the world, the president was able to exercise just the threat of 100% tariffs to negotiate with, and the idea that that negotiating leverage could be taken away from the President of the United States. Because I tell you, it would have been a mess if this rare earth regime had gone in, could have caused substantial single digits decline in GDP, massive job losses across the country. So I am sure that SCOTUS will take this into account as they are doing this.
So, Mehek, here's what the administration is going to be arguing in front of SCOTUS. They're going to say that the Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 does give President Trump authority to unilaterally set import tax rates on any country at any level that he wants. He needs 5 votes.
And I think that the Supreme Court is going to rule in favor of President Trump, Cheryl. This case, to me, even though many argue on the other side that the president shouldn't have authority to do this, it only goes through Congress. Tariffs are essential when we're talking about national security. And Democrats have been holding the American people hostage, from shutdowns to now trying to stop President Trump. When we have allowed tariffs through every single president since 1977, Reagan, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden, they've all used the IEPA to allow for tariffs. So when you look at this case, the simple answer is when there's a national emergency, and we have one, the fentanyl crisis, they're manufacturing fentanyl from China, bringing it through our ports and borders. The president has the authority to protect the American people. And that's the question today that is on the court's docket.
Yeah, the editorial board of the Washington Post has a really good breakdown of kind of what to watch within each judge. And this is where, you know, again, the lawyers need to speak and not myself. But on the economic side and the financial side, Greg, what I can say is that it's been phenomenal for the debt and deficits of this nation. And from a financial standpoint, you want to see the tariffs continue because total duty, this is as a Treasury report by September 30th, $215.2 billion getting brought in, $29 billion in July alone. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. If you listen to Treasury Secretary Bessent, he makes a good point. It's a small dent, but it's a move in the right direction. So we have the national security issues. On top of that, we have the emergency issues with fentanyl. And then on top of that, the revenue increase to help with our deficit and help with our economy, I think, is very relevant as well.
Yeah, well, certainly it's going to be interesting to see how these justices work because usually when they start to have these arguments, they start to reveal. Real quick, Mehek, they start to reveal their thinking.
Right.
And the ones that we're supposed to be watching, according to them, is Gorsuch, Roberts, and even Kavanaugh on this one because of their different backgrounds.
Right, but if you look at the law, it says unusual and extraordinary threat to regulate the importation of goods during a declared emergency. This is very black and white for me. Tariffs are the importation of goods. We have to have that regulation, and we have a national emergency. The president has deemed so.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting when we start to hear again from the justices